Hello, we are the Dawson 3 and we are here to tell our story.
We are victims of child abuse, neglect, abandonment, physical and verbal abuse by our biological mother, and today we're here to talk about her and let her know how we really feel and that we remember what has happened to us.
And despite of it, we are all successful.
And another thing, we want to help those that have been abused or that get abused in their daily lives every day.
And just because a child doesn't have physical marks on their body does not mean that they're not being abused. So we are here to tell our story and to inspire others who have been abused that they can succeed too. We're going to start off with my older brother Steven. He's going to tell his story of what our mother did to him.
Well, she beat my head against the wall. She choked me and used to throw me in my crib when I was a baby. So, not all abuse leaves bruises. So, a lot of abuse that happens is done without bruises, and usually if there's bruises it's reported, but if there ain't bruises then it's not reported. So I just hope whoever is going through this can have the power to step out and come out with what they were going through. And I guess that's what I have to say.
You want to talk about the beer bottles?
And she also was getting me drunk over at one of her boyfriend's house and told me that there was a gun in the couch. She knew I was suicidal, and that's why she said that. So, anyway.
When I was a little girl, my mother used to shove spoons down my throat and force feed me my vomit. Here's a photo. You can see the burns around my lips from the vomit. She did this to me until I was about 7. She broke all the back of my teeth. She used to put me on the bathroom floor, and she would sit on top of me and she would push my eyes in with her thumbs and shove that spoon down my throat until I vomited. And then she would take the spoon and she would force feed me my own vomit. She starved us. She told us when we could use the bathroom. She told us when we could drink water. She controlled everything that we did. We didn't have a good childhood because of her. She was mean. She verbally abused us, physically. She neglected us. She pulled our hair out. She did a lot of terrible stuff to us. She told us that we were worth nothing, that we were ugly, that we would be nothing. But you know what, Kathy? We are something. All of us. We're successful. There's some pictures here. This is me when I was little. All my hair fell out because I was so neglected. And this is us as children. You can see me in the middle. I look really sick. She did more terrible things to us than I can explain to you. I can't tell you everything that she did to us because it's so much things. But I can tell you that you can get through it. Linda?
Yep.
Going off on what they said, from when I was little, I remember her having a babysitter teach me how to kill things. I remember I was locked in a crib until I was like 11 years old, till I was 10 years old. They put cages, I was locked in a cage. I had bars over the top of my cage with books and plants, so I couldn't get out. I was fed one bread a day with just bits and pieces of bread. I was taught that it was okay to kill animals, and then when animals died in our house, I got blamed for all the animals that got killed. I remember all the times I got slapped, and I remember one time I was at my grandma's and my mom got mad because I didn't want to eat something, and she threw me across the room in my high chair. She made us all feel down about ourselves. She told me I'd never be pretty. She said I wasn't pretty. She said I was ugly. She used to tell my sister her hair looked like a rat's nest. The abuse got better with us because she knew that they were old enough to do something about it. I remember all the times she would kick us out of the house. I remember all the times that when she left, we would have to go in the kitchen and raid it and steal things like pickles, and we were never allowed to have milk, bread, cheese, none of that. Cereal, anything that she bought that she wanted for herself was just for herself. I remember getting one sandwich a day. Bread, mayonnaise, maybe a piece of cheese, which was very rare, only if she was having a good day, and that was it the whole day. We used to steal bread and things like that and take it down to the barn and eat it. I remember one time I was walking out of the barn and she slapped me with one of her horse whips for no reason. I remember all the times she would lock me in my room for weeks and weeks at a time and wouldn't let me come out, only to use the bathroom. I remember asking for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and she wouldn't even give it to me. Oh, you can wait till dinner. Or some nights we didn't even have dinner. So I ended up getting in a situation where I was separated from Stephen and Katie, and we just reunited, after 8 years? We spent our first Christmas together in 8 years. She tried to tear our relationship with our grandparents away. She didn't want us around our grandma at all. We rarely got to see her. My grandma barely has pictures of us from when we were little. She didn't want us being around that woman because she showed us nothing but love. So when I was a freshman in high school, I ended up moving back to Tacoma, and she abused me. She treated me like crap. She brought different men around. She slept with every guy that she encountered. She picked other men over her own kids. She'd leave us in cars while she went and slept with men in houses and in stores and just random things like that. She sent me out to sell drugs a couple of times when I was in Tacoma. Just a lot of things, She told me I would never be nothing. All the boyfriends she was with were physically and mentally abusive. Yeah, it's hard. It's real hard, seeing some pictures and things like that of us when we were little. It just shows, she abandoned me. She moved to Virginia with some guy. Didn't even tell me she was even leaving anywhere. And when I called her, she's on the next plane to Virginia and wasn't coming back. And I was all alone. Luckily I have a couple surrogate moms that took me in and raised me, but I had nothing. She never bought us school clothes. She kept the money for herself. She used our school clothes money that our dad would give us, and she'd buy horses with it and things that we couldn't afford. So I feel for anybody that has any kind of abuse, and there's just so many things that, it's really hard to talk about even now. We've dealt with depression. We've gone through stuff that we don't know how to deal with because, we've had so many other things going on in our lives. But, one way or another, we each got away. We got taken care of after we left that situation.
It was the people around us that took care of us.
Yeah. And we're all successful, He's a mechanic. She's a firefighter / EMT. I'm working my way. I'm on my junior year of college. I'm going to be a probation officer. I'm a student athlete as well. So So we also, a couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks ago, but after New Year's, my mother sent me a very, 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 just sour text about, I'm not your daughter, you're not my daughter, and told me, just horrible things. I have a recording that she also sent me that we would like to play for you guys. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties at the moment, but that's okay.
I think the dog unplugged the radio.
Sorry, guys, it'll be one moment. But while we get that squared away, the only time we were dressed in nice clothes is when we were with our grandma and our grandpa. She never let us wear nice clothes. I remember one time my little brother, he had a foot infection, and my grandma gave him foot cream to make it better, and my mother used it for herself, and his foot got worse and worse and worse. But we have the recording we're going to play for you.
And just another thing on top of the neglect. Our mother did foster care, and she kept the house full of food, but she didn't give it to us. So when CPS workers would come over and renew her license, the house would be full of food. How would anybody know that we were starving? Nobody knew.
The foster kids were starved too. Our animals were tortured. We had a dog that was tied to a tree its whole life, and when it finally got sick and needed to be put down, its collar grew into its neck. We had pigs, we had animals, we had so many animals, but it was all possessions, and they all died alone outside in the cold, were not taken care of. She killed my sister's horse and then burned it in our front yard along with her clothes and things. So, but we're going to play that recording right now for you guys. We should be back in business. I don't know what technical difficulties were going on, but,
Alright.
Here we go.
Fuck off, die, bitch, and lose my number, and I'm getting my house, baby.
So she sent me a text and told me to fuck off and die, bitch. Like, who says that to their own child, Let alone a mother that gave birth to us,
Just because you give birth doesn't mean you're a mother. It doesn't. She's threatened to kill us. She's done a lot of terrible things to us, but we got through it. You can too.
We have battles every day, just like every other human being, Everybody goes through depression, everybody goes through, every day there's something, every week, every month we're tortured or we remember something. This isn't something that we can forget overnight. She's ruined us in a lot of things, I haven't been in their life, and I haven't been in my grandparents' life, or any of my other family's life, in 8 years. Like, it's very sad. She likes to brainwash people and manipulate them and into thinking that she's just this good person, but all of us kids remember what you did to us, and I hope she sees this.
We want people to know what she did to us. We want her to see this. We want her to see us and how amazing we all are. She's made people believe that this never happened, but it did. We have proof, we have video, we have pictures. Can't get more proof than that.
We have memories.
But worst of all, we have the memories and the PTSD from it.
Yeah. No, the feeling that we're all overcoming is being able to go in the kitchen and think and know that we can have food, and we won't be told that we can't. We won't be starved. Things like that. I'm still overcoming the not to eat food around people and wait until after they go to bed to eat.
Because we had to wait until she went to sleep so we could steal food to eat.
We had to wait till she went to parties or go down to the barn. We stole a lot of things from the kitchen. And the sad part about it is the kitchen's supposed to be somewhere you can eat and have food whenever you want if you're hungry.
Yeah,
No.
it's truth.
And we were all so skinny, and she would tell her friends and all our other family members that we were making ourselves throw up in the bathroom, and that's why we were so skinny and that we weren't eating. We weren't eating because she wasn't feeding us.
She kept us away from our grandparents.
Yep.
She would rip our hair out and throw us into walls and things, and then come and apologize to us so we didn't go tell anyone.
She was a brutal person.
And sadly, there is supposed to be a Dawson 4, but our brother, he's completely brainwashed by her. He got treated the best because he was the youngest. And unfortunately, he doesn't like any of us for God knows what reasons. When we used to have his back through everything, you know. When he needed food, we'd give him food, you know. We helped. We had to help keep each other's backs from getting in trouble because we were hungry.
Yeah, we had to steal food from our own house. I kind of feel like our story is a lot like David Peltzer's story. He's been a really big inspiration for me for a really long time. And some of his quotes, one quote that I really love, says, "Childhood should be carefree, playing in the sun, not living in a nightmare in the darkness of the soul." And that's exactly how our childhood was.
I also want to say that one of my favorite quotes is that there is always sunshine after the storm, and that speaks on all of us. You know, we got raised in a really bad, crappy childhood, but look at us now. You know, like, we got meat on our bones. We are doing things with our lives. You know, we can eat whenever we want to eat, you know, without fear of that, you know. But one thing we can't forget is all the memories of our childhood. And your childhood is supposed to be great, you know. It's supposed to be carefree. But we smiled through the struggle. That's one thing for sure. We smiled through the struggle. We went to school like nothing ever happened. School was our happy place, you know. We didn't have to worry about anything at school. We got fed, you know, breakfast and lunch, but sadly, breakfast and lunch was our only meal for the rest of the day. So, you know, sports saved the majority of us, you know. So, she never thought that some of us would be in college. You know, she never wanted any of that for us, you know.
There's another quote that I really like too, and it says, and this is by David Peltzer, and it says, "Mother can beat me all she wants, but I haven't let her take away my will to somehow survive." And a lot of those days when I was on the bathroom floor, I really thought I was going to die. When she would put me in a room and just, there was no blankets, it was just a dark room in the back of the house by myself on a plastic mattress cover, and that's all I got. And she would come in every once in a while and feed me, ensure, I guess, to keep me alive. But there was some times where I really, really thought, this is it. I'm gonna die. But we survived.
Yeah.
We're survivors.
We are for sure, and guess what? We don't have to deal with her ever again.
She's out of our lives.
And that message right there is just from January 6, 2017, that she sent that text to me.
Of her voice recording.
Telling me that I'm not her child. And telling her that my brother said that I look like a slut. And, you know, telling her that we're not related as siblings. You know, trying to destroy anything that we are trying to put together now. But she can't do that no more, so.
Nope.
Anything you'd like to say, Stephen?
I don't want any letters from her. I don't want to ever see her again.
Me neither.
Me neither. And I hope you see this, because we're all beautiful, handsome, smart, educated. We know how to. Steven knows how to fix things, and he's just a mechanic.
He's basically a mechanic.
Yeah. And so anything, he's very funny, loving, caring, Katie's beyond what you could ever imagine, what you ever wanted her to be. You wanted her to probably work at a grocery store or something for the rest of her life and be miserable and whatever you want to call it. I used to see it all the time. I used to see how she would treat them and how she treated us and how she would say things, and she always was the prettier one or wanted to be more prettier than us. She never wanted us to be better than her, never have better hair than her.
She would actually cut her hair off and
I also have a picture. Makes me sad because whenever my grandma was around, we were always so happy and clean, and she never let us take baths. I don't know, never let us wash clothes. We had to wear the same pants and socks for days at a time.
We were the sneaky kids in school growing up.
She was trying to rip me away at this time, but that's basically how it was my childhood. That's her grabbing me and ripping me from trying to be over there.
By our grandma.
By our grandma. She didn't like our grandma at all. She was jealous of her.
For what God knows what reason.
For God knows what reason, but yeah. Picture make me sad because picture makes me sad. Because we always cried when we got home from our grandma's house and we had to deal with her again. I mean, you can look at this picture here. You can see the acid, My grandma told us a story one time about how Katie had came over there and she was soaking wet, and Katie had told my grandma that my mom was trying to drown her in the bath and was ducking her head under the water. So it's very sad.
And Linda, you turned out better than she ever would have thought you would have.
So this is our story.
This is our story, and we just wanted to do this video to help anybody else who has gone through anything remotely what we've been through.
And what we've seen. Some detailed things we don't even want to talk about. So, especially the animals and the foster kids and us and other things that we've seen.
The foster kids she didn't take care of. Somehow she got away with it all. And I don't know how. I don't. But thank you so much for watching. And supporting us. And thank you to everyone in our lives that helped us. Me and Linda, we were homeless, and we had some amazing people take us in and take care of us, and they taught us what life is really supposed to be like. What love really is, and what it's like to be loved and cared for. Because we never had that, except from our grandma. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Always keep God in your corner.
Yes.
And you'll get through anything. That's what we know for sure. So, again, thanks for watching, and this was the Dawson 3. Hope you saw this, Kathy.